Music theory can be one of the most intimidating things when getting into music production, but it really doesn't have to be. If you know a few basic concepts, you're really able to take your chords from beginner to pro. Before we get started with the video, my name is John from Sandscape Audio. We're a music production resource community and we post content like this all the time, so make sure you're subscribed here. Also, after the video, feel free to head over to sandscapeaudio.com and check out some of the resources we have available over there. All right, let's jump into Logic and start making some chords. So when you're building a progression, you want to figure out what kind of mood you're looking for. For this first one, we're going to look at kind of an uplifting progression. So I have these root notes here. They sound like this. Now we got to turn them into chords. So we're going to start with the most basic form of chords, and that's going to be triads. And that just means to have the 1, the 3rd, and the 5th note of the scale in the key that you're playing. So we're just going to take all of these notes here and duplicate them up to the 5th note in the scale. And to make it a little bit easier, that just means 7 semitones. Now it sounds like this. Now we're going to take our same root notes, and depending on if we want a major chord or a minor chord, we're either going to do the 3rd or the 3rd minor. So that's 3 semitones for minor, 4 semitones for major. So we're going to start all at minor, and then we'll adjust the majors as we go along. The first chord is going to be minor, the second 2 are going to be major, and the last chord is going to be minor. And there you go, that's a basic chord progression in triads. But now it's time to spice it up a little bit because they sound pretty plain and pretty boring. The first thing we're going to do is add a pedal tone. A pedal tone is a note that's consistent throughout the entire progression. So for this progression, we're going to take the middle note of this first chord, we're going to duplicate it an octave above, and then we're going to run that through all 4 chords. So you can just hold Option and drag the note 12 semitones above. And then, like I said, we're going to have that play through all 4 chords. And that first change sounds like this. Already sounding a little bit better. All right, next we're going to add a second pedal tone, 5 semitones above that first one that we just added. That sounds like this. Another trick I like to do is take the 3rd chord and that last pedal note that we added and just drop that down 1 semitone. Sounds like this. All right, now let's go back and hear what our original triad sounded like, and then we're going to go right into the new and improved chords. There we go, just a few changes really make a big difference. All right, let's take a look at another one. We're going to go with kind of like a synth pad sound for this next one. And I have my root notes already here that sound like this. So we're going to take our notes and go up 7 semitones. And then we're going to do the first 2 chords are going to be major. The 3rd chord is going to be minor, and the last chord is going to be major. So that'll be 4 semitones for the first 2. Bring the 3rd chord to the 3rd semitone. And keep the 4th chord here at the 4th semitone. Sounds like this. Again, not bad, but we could do some things to make them much better. So we're going to take the middle note of each chord and move it up an entire octave. And the way you can move a set of notes up to an octave without duplicating it is by hitting Shift, Option, and then the up arrow. All right, let's hear what that sounds like. Now we're actually going to use this note here as the pedal tone. And now that all these chords have 4 notes in it and this one only has 3 because we took that pedal note from that first note here, we're just going to grab this one and move it down 4 semitones. And depending on what kind of vibe you're going for with your chord progression, you can add another high pedal tone. All right, let's listen to our triads right into our new chords. Sounds pretty nice. All right, let's take a look at one more. This one's going to be a little bit happier than our last two. So we have kind of like a bell pluck sound for this one, and these are our root notes here. Like I said, this is going to be a more happy one, so our first three chords are going to be major, and the last chord is going to be minor. So 7 semitones with all the notes. 4 semitones with the first 3 chords. And the last chord here, we're going to take that back down to 3 semitones. So as you can see here, the chords in this progression have a much more drastic change than the last two progressions. So what we're going to do is we're going to revoice these to make them a little bit tighter, to make it a little bit easier to listen to. So I'm just going to select the notes that I want to bring in an octave, and I'm going to hit Shift, Option, and then the down arrow. And now we can see our chord progression is much tighter here. So let's listen to what it sounds like now. Nice. Like I said, you don't have those drastic changes from chord to chord. All right, now we're going to add in some pedal tones. And I'm going to take this third chord high pedal note and bring it down 2 semitones. And then sometimes on the second time through the chord progression, I like to take that final high pedal note and bring it down even more. All right, let's listen to our original triads and go into our final updated chords. So there it is. That's just a few ways that you can improve your chords without getting too involved with music theory. At some point, music theory is a very good thing to learn as a producer, but you can learn a little bit at a time and you could still have good chords while you're doing it. Mess around with different voicings, mess around with different pedal tones, move random notes around. Sometimes a conventional way to build the chord isn't going to be the best sounding chord for your track. So try moving a note somewhere that may not really make sense, but sounds really good. If you enjoyed this video, make sure you're subscribed here so you can keep up with all the content that we release. Also, feel free to head over to sandscapeaudio.com and check out some of the resources that we have available over there. All right, y'all, that's it for this one. I'll catch you in the next one.